Welcome to this video on the difference between statements and sentences. This is a topic that is covered in section 1.1. Let's start with the basic fact that statements are a kind of sentence. So there are other types of sentences, and statements are just a very special or specific type of sentence. One thing that makes statements completely different from other sentences is that statements have truth value. We're going to have a video only on truth value, so you will be able to see a video that will be just about truth value. But for now, it's important just to understand that truth value is a characteristic of statements such that they are either true or false. In other words, truth value is a trait of statements such that statements have to be either true or false. And that's what essentially makes them different from other sentences. Here's an example. Washington, D.C. is the capital of the United States. So this is a statement, and again, it is also a sentence because it's a special type of sentence. It's a statement. And this one is true. So we know that this has the trait or characteristic of being of having truth value because it is true. Now be aware of the fact that statements can also be false, and they would still have truth value. So having truth value doesn't mean that the statement has to be true. The statement can completely be false and still have truth value. Remember that the trait only requires that it is either true or false. One last thing to note here is that in logic, statements are called propositions. So in later chapters like chapter 6 and chapter 7, I'm going to more than likely refer to them as just propositions. That's just the technical name for statements in logic. Okay, let's do a couple of exercises dealing with the difference between statements and sentences. Determine whether the following are statements, propositions. If they are not statements, determine what kind of sentences they are. I should say that the other type of sentences are things like questions or commands. So those are also sentences, but they're not statements because questions and commands don't have truth value. So if I say, "Where are my keys?" that's a sentence, but it does not have truth value. "Where are my keys?" is neither true nor false. And then a command like "Bring me my shoes" is a sentence, but it does not have truth value because that's neither true or false. Okay, so here's number one. The moon is a satellite of the earth. Okay, this is a statement. This is true. The moon is in fact a satellite of the earth. So it is a statement or a proposition. Okay, what time is it? Okay, well that's a question. It is a sentence, as we said earlier. Questions are sentences, but this does not have truth value. What time is it is neither true nor false. So it is a question. That's the type of sentence that it is. It is a question, and so it is not a statement. Okay, bring me my car keys. Okay, so this is a command. It is not a statement. It is a sentence. It's a command, but it does not have truth value, right? Because when someone says bring me my car keys, we don't think, oh, that's true or that's false. This is something that doesn't have truth value, so this is a command. 2 plus 2 is 4. Okay, this is a statement, and this one is true. We know that this is a true claim or a true statement, so this counts as a statement. Okay, that is it for this video. Your homework will consist of exercises where you basically say what kind of sentence we have, whether we have a statement or whether we don't have a statement. So it's very much the same as the practice exercises that I did. So keep watching the videos. The next video will be specifically on truth value.